So, Mao said that the best defense is a good offense. And that's going to hold true in your marriage as well. I'm Lesli Dories, your marriage coach, creator of the Hero Husband Project, and owner of Foundations Coaching. And I get it. Rocking the boat, trying to have a difficult conversation with your wife is scary. Human beings as a whole want to stay safe. And so playing defense is, it sounds like a great idea, right? But at some point in time, if you're constantly playing defense, if you're constantly trying to protect yourself from her thoughts, her feelings, her reactions, just keep your head down, try to plow through and just hope everything is going to be okay. Maybe a great short-term strategy, like if you have to ride out a hurricane or a snowstorm or something like that, just hunkering down and just waiting it out is a good thing. But if this goes on for years and years, which often happens in marriage, you're going to end up like Sam, who I talked to a couple of weeks ago, and he came to me and he said, Lesli, I've had a sexless marriage for 50 years. And my wife seems to be okay with it. And I'm going, yes. And on some level, the message that he was sending was it was okay with him too, even though it wasn't. Now, to be fair, he had attempted to talk with her about this, and the walls went up and she just got, really defensive, and she got a little bit nasty by basically saying all he wanted from her was sex. And guys, I'm sure you've heard that. Maybe some of you have heard that from your wives, and that is not a correct statement. It wasn't a correct statement for Sam. It's probably not a correct statement from you. But when you agree to things, then that becomes the norm, and it becomes even harder to change it. It's always kind of surprised me. The statistic, I don't know if this statistic is still accurate, but many years ago, it was people would know that there were problems in their marriages for an average of 7 years before they sought help. A lot of damage can be done in 7 years. Imagine agreeing to 50 years without physical intimacy with your partner. Breaks my heart. And even 1 year is a really long time. And and by the way, that's not to say that there might not be some real legitimate reasons for it happening. And by the way, if you're okay in a sexless marriage and your wife is okay in a sexless marriage, no harm, no foul, everything's good. But if you're putting up with something, whether it's lack of physical intimacy or dealing with money or figuring out household chores, or you name it, right? If there is a problem, if there is something that isn't in your marriage that you would like to be there, and you sit on it, it tells your wife that the status quo is okay, right? And the other thing it does is it builds resentment for you, and that resentment is going to come out in a lot of different ways. It is going to create distance between the two of you. And the more distance there is between the two of you, the less healthy your relationship. And I get it. I truly do. A lot of times we don't broach these subjects because we don't really know how. A lot of times they get brought up when we're in the midst of our own frustration. Bad time, right? Because you're emotional about it. You are not really having a conversation. What you guys end up having is what I call dueling monologues, where you're not really listening to each other. These tough conversations are hard. That's why they're tough, right? And being able to have them successfully is not things that we're taught, right? We don't go to marriage school, although I think everybody should. And when you kind of try to ride this out, you're going to end up in a losing season, right? I mean, trying to protect yourself and never just trying to keep the other team from scoring points is not going to get you to win the game. At some point in time, you have to score the points if you're going to be ahead. And you belong in your marriage. What you want matters. It doesn't mean you're going to get it the exact way that you want it, but not talking about it, not taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and having this tough conversation with your wife is not going to make anything better. And over the years, it's just going to create more challenges. So I actually have an offer for you. If you would really like to know how to broach these tough topics with your wife, just put yes down in the comment section, and I will send you my free how to talk to your wife about how to talk about tough conversations with your wife. I have a plan on how to do that I would like to offer you. Hopefully you'll find this helpful. Hopefully you will share this with your people, with the people that you know, your friends, and let me know your thoughts about this, because it is one of the hardest things to do. I get it. And if you go in unprepared, just like if you go in to the big game unprepared, you haven't done any research, you haven't done your own game plan, you haven't figured out how to prepare for what comes back at you, it's probably not going to be a successful experience, and that's just going to send you back even further into the, hunker down and try to get through this. But that's not going to be the way to win at life, and it's not going to be the way to win at your marriage. So like I said, just put yes down below in the comment section, and I'll send you that conversation guide. And until next week, stay loving.